Okay, so today we're going to be going through this render right here. It's really simple. So yeah, let's do it. So first thing we're going to add, just like in most of my tutorials, is an icosphere. And we're just scale it up a little bit, and then we're going to subdivide it. I'm using Blender 2.8. Almost everything I'm doing here, I'm doing in here you can do in 2.79 if you're still using it. So we're just going to subdivide it to about there. And then, basically, this is the main part of the tutorial. We're going to be adding the build modifier. And this is a cool one. Watch what it does. It's pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to be using that. So we're just going to put it to right about there. Let's see how the render looks. Yeah, we're going to need an open space. So that looks just about right. Yeah. So we're going to keep that. And then I'm going to click, actually no, I'm not going to click apply yet. I'm going to add a solidify to this and just bring it in. And then you can see the vertices on it. So you can put a matte cap on it, you can see it better. You can see the vertices. We don't want that for this design. So we're just going to add a subdivision surface here. And right now it's just doing that. So we're just going to move the subdivision surface up the stack here, and then on the view, let's just see what happens. So it looks like on render 2 right here, subdivision of 2, it does the job. So put your render at 2, and I'm going to put my render at 0 while we design so I don't slow down my computer. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do, let's see how many I did in the render. 1, so it looks like I did 4 on the outside, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to duplicate it, scale it out, duplicate it, and we're just going to duplicate it like that. And to duplicate, it's Shift D. Alright, we have this. Now, I'm going to click the one on the inside, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to scale it this way. And then if you go to the build modifier, right here on the start and the length, just bring your start back to 0. Actually, yeah. Put your start at, bring it past 0, I'm sorry. Past 0 till it's back to sort of the normal sphere that it was. And then, we're going to put, let's see, how did I do it? I tend to forget. Okay, no. We're going to sort of mess with it until it gets a smaller opening right here. So go back to the start and just sort of play with it till it's almost all the way closed up. I think that looks good, and then we're just going to rotate it till that hole is in the middle. Yeah, just like that. And then, that's right about correct, and then we're going to take this one again, duplicate it, bring it in, and then bring your start all the way down till you stop seeing it. And we're just about done with this part of the design. We're going to go into shading in just a second. I'm going to put it right here in the middle, sort of like it's a helmet. That kind of gives it that sort of vibe where it almost looks like a helmet, like there's the face in there. So now we're going to go to shading. So I'm going to put a plane on the bottom here for the back and just scale it all the way up. And then we were looking at it from the side. Now we're going to get our camera and give it 2000 by 2000 pixels. Okay, I just quickly did some rotation to my model here. This is the part where you can just be creative and however you want your model to be viewed, just sort of move it around and have some fun with it. So we're going to go to the shading now. So it looks like in my photo, the outside and the inside, those are red. So first thing we're going to do is duplicate, sorry, wrong one. We're going to duplicate this, scale it up, and add a wireframe to it, which is what I did in the original design. And wireframe, and then scale it down quite a bit on the thickness. Let's see how that looks. That looks about right. Okay, So shading, we're gonna click on this one, and there we go. Add a principled BSDF. I'm gonna up the metallic, make sure our roughness is up, and we're gonna give it sort of fiery red, sort of orange. All right, and we're gonna put the same material on the outside one. So let's just check our shading real quick. Yep, it's correct. Now we're gonna take this one here, add another principled, up the metallic, up the roughness, give it sort of a darker gray, and then we're just gonna click these and add that same material to them, including this one. Add the same material on this one here. Give it smooth shading, or just put a subdivision surface on it till it's perfectly smooth. We're gonna add another principled BSDF and up the transmission. That'll make it a glass shader, because on my render we have a glass shader and then we have another sphere inside of the glass shader. And then keep our roughness right about there. We're going to duplicate this sphere, and then we're just going to scale it down a little bit, right about there, and we're going to add that red shader to it. Okay, everything's shaded. Let's see if it's correct. Yep, everything looks about right. This is just the Eevee view. It's going to look much better in Cycles. Okay, for lighting, I'm going to add a HDRI. For HDRIs, I always use HDRI Haven. All these are free and they're really, really high quality. So you go over to HDRIs and then you can just go in and just pick one. And I usually pick the 4K size, but pick whatever size you want. Okay, so to put an HDRI in, we're going to go to the world settings, click use nodes, and then right here on color, click environment texture, and then click open. All right, now let's check and see how that looks on the render with our HDRI. Oh, I'm in Eevee, sorry, gotta go to Cycles. All right, so I'm going to bring up our brightness to about 5. But first thing I want to do is go back to the world settings. Under ray visibility, turn off camera so that when you see the render, you don't see the HDRI image in the background. It's all just black and it's only lighting this. So I'm going to put my strength at 5. Let's see how that looks. So yeah, that looks really good. Last thing I'm going to do is we're just going to add a background back here with a plane, scale it up, go to our rotate properties, put it right about there, and then rotate this way until it's about flat, and then we're just going to move it back a little bit. Oops. Right about there. And then we'll just scale it up a bunch. And that kind of negates why we need to turn off the ray visibility for the HDRI, but still, it's a good thing to know. And we're just going to add a principled and give it a darker gray. And that just about sums it up. I would put about 300 samples on it. I don't think that you'll need any denoising, but maybe you will because it's glass, so maybe add a little bit of denoising in here. Keep it at the defaults. That's pretty good. And yeah, 2000 by 2000, about 300 samples, and it'll look really clean. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. I have a couple more of these abstract design videos, so feel free to check those out. Thanks.